So on this year's first RecWired podcast, I've turned the tables. So the guy that used to interview me, I'm going to have a few questions for him. So over to my co-founder, co-partner, Cobra Kai, Dualta Doherty. How's it?
Life is good. It's unusual. I've moved to Gibraltar, as we've discussed previously, and here I am running a martial arts dojo, recruitment business, a community, an advisory, and building a learning and development platform, and kind of juggling all these things at the same time.
Cool. And you got a family as well, haven't you?
Yeah, well, that's probably how this kind of came about. Two young boys living here in the sunshine. Best move we could have ever made, weighing up whether or not we're going to move to America or here.
Couldn't comment. So what I would say is what's interesting is how I got to know you guys. So I got to know you guys when you were backpacking through the world, basically, when you were just doing the social media stuff. I felt like I knew you. So when I actually met you, it was actually quite a disappointment. So, but yeah,
Hey, that's so I've been in recruitment for 13 odd years now. And I suppose I did like a 3 year stint in Oz, and then I went to Canada. And then the backpacking thing started for a few years. And the fear was like, do you put it out on social media? Recruitment's a corporate gig. And we started doing it, drip feeding it out there. And then it kind of worked, and then just kind of goes from there. And then everybody then decides that you have to add personality to stuff. Tell you what, LinkedIn these days is rubbish. It is so, make you sick.
yeah. There's not a lot of it. It all looks the same. And I was having this conversation yesterday, actually, with someone about AI, and we're actually going to get to a situation where AI writes the job ads. They all look the same. You have an AI go and apply. The AI does the cover letter. And actually, all you're going to have, right, is recruiters basically trying to work out what's the machine, what's not. I think actually it might just go back to a paper-based economy at some point where people are just having to handwrite notes so they know genuinely this is a real person behind.
Yeah, I mean, if there's jobs left, that's when I look at my two boys now, and we have them here in Gibraltar, and what are they going to do when they're grown up? So they're 6 and 5 now. So we've ended up having our office space is just here. Let me show you. Our office space is just there. So that's where me and Charlotte work. She usually kicks me out of the office, and I'm at the front desk. And here's where I'll be coaching a kids kickboxing class tonight, along with a few other guys. And this is our jiu-jitsu gym. And what skills do we put into our kids for the next 20 years? It's like, do they go to university? What jobs are still going to be there? All of that stuff terrifies me. I think any type of physical type skills that we can give them now are going to be super important.
I get your point. I mean, my daughter goes to a school in Cape Town, and it's a really interesting way they teach. They don't teach them all the sort of dates, the facts, the things, because you can Google that now. They teach them, it's more about how to learn and how to research those things. And, they've got things like podcast studios. So they're actually teaching them how to effectively live in a new world where everything is online. It's, the answers, you don't need to remember names, dates, places, because it's on your phone. Everything's available. So yeah, this is quite deep for our normal conversation.
We haven't had a bit of a catch up in a while.
Yeah, we've gone quite.
I'm still doing rec direct, by the way. I know you asked me that earlier.
I was going to say after AI all destroys the world, all that will be left is cockroaches and recruitment consultants. Yeah.
Yeah, big time. I'm telling you, it's pretty hard out there. Like that tech that fall off that happened last year. Has really affected recruitment businesses. And I know there's a lot of people with brave faces out there, but I'm seeing it from delivering good profiles. like Dubai, for example, I'm delivering good profiles, and I put up a post, what's happening? And you founders chirping up, no, it's brilliant, we're flying, we're flying. Then you have all the candidates going, why aren't you responding to my emails then? Where's my job? Um, but good results out of Meta and and some of the other tech giants yesterday. So hopefully we're in an up cycle now, and we've hit the bottom. But it feels to me like the pot's dry out there for a lot of people, and
Yeah.
it's not that liquid a market, you know.
I think we're in a very strange market. So gone are the days of 2021 post COVID where it just went crackers. Everyone's recruiting. I think a lot of people cut their cloth now, and I think they're a little bit burnt and a little bit scarred. So I think people are keeping whatever powder they have left dry. And also as well, we've seen a few companies go out of business, and I can't remember that happening in a long, long time. And we're going to see a few more, over the coming weeks and months.
Oh, that scares me. Liquidity, cash in the business, your oxygen. Need to have a certain amount. You know, it's need to be able to make payroll, keep your staff trusting you. As soon as that trust is broken, it's very hard to roll back in, you know. So I'm always optimistic, you know, but realistic as well as to where we're going to go. I'm hoping a bounce back in the US. I've never been quieter than last year in the US. Like, the demand for UK recruiters was so low compared to previous years. Even now, right, I have like somebody who's like over there already, E2, on an E2, they just need to transfer a visa. People aren't snapping my arm off for it.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. Like, you know, like it's definitely tight, but I'm hoping, and I think we're both hearing rumblings that there's a bit of good things coming back into the marketplace.
The other thing is an election year. And election years are generally good for the economy. And I actually think,
Got my MAGA hat on, lad.
well, yeah, I think, yeah, it could go one of two ways. But I think people are probably going to start pricing in a Trump win. And that is generally probably seen as a pro-business thing, a pro-investment thing, and so we'll see. So, but I think the election year will make a huge difference. And I think you're right. I think you talk to people in the States, you're starting to see it come back there. Those who recruit in the States are a lot more confident than those who recruit in the UK and Europe right now. And it comes from there. The confidence comes from the West.
So, Andy, our team is working 24/7 at the moment. Georgiana and Dominic and Dan and Charlotte. It's pretty intense for them. They're looking to launch RecWired Plus in the next few weeks. And when I say launch, I mean make sure it's ready and functional. We'll then start the promotion and all of that stuff. But it's funny, you know, when I look back to when we first analyzed who the players were in the learning and development and advisory space and what they had built, it's taken us quite a while to be confident with something that is market leading. And we didn't rush it. We took it one step at a time, and listened to the people. And it's definitely been an interesting journey. What do you think about it?
I think we finally got round to doing what we said we'd do 3 years ago and build a recurring revenue business. So yeah, it's exciting. I think we've brought together some. I think actually the most exciting thing is the new people we brought into the team. Actually, we've been doing RecWired, which we enjoy. We've been doing it. I think it'll be our fourth birthday in June. I think.
Wow.
Ever since that fateful COVID Friday night. But yeah, what's been really interesting is I think you're in a business and you're comfortable, you're doing it, you're getting good results. We've grown, the network, the members, every day is a different day. It's always interesting, and that's what I really enjoy. But the energy Dom and Dan have really brought into the business has just to flesh out the joint ventures, just I think been great over the last few months as well. And I think them coming in has really freshened it up for us as well.
Yeah, to add a bit of context for any first time listeners or anybody who needs catching up. So Andy would do a lot of big business advisory. Charlotte would do some specific tech-related organizational advisory for medium-sized businesses. And myself and Charlotte coached about 100 founders on a startup course on the mastermind that we created. And from doing all of that, we worked out that a lot of founders and businesses don't really have enough fundamentals in place, and we needed to go get a trainer. So once we did that and we got the one we liked, we then knew that we had the missing piece of the puzzle. Then we needed to build it, and we looked at all the different off-the-shelf packages out there, like Teachable, and I can't remember the few of the others that we Kajabi and that, and it just didn't do what we needed to do. So we then brought in Dominic, who's now actually signed on as a business partner in the venture, which is great, because when somebody's great and they do the work, we want to get them sticky in it, and we want to make sure that it's there, it's ever building. And so when we're able to show you guys this in the next few weeks, you're going to be able to see what the journey will look like from somebody who has never been in recruitment before, all the way up to setting up a recruitment business, to scaling a recruitment business, and then eventually to having an event in a recruitment business, and all the information that you need, and all the right advisors at the different stages of that business to make it happen. But most importantly, it's connecting founders together and educating recruiters to save founders money, and doing that at an affordable price is kind of what the aim was, right?
100%. And I think what I really like about it is as well, we built it as a platform. So it's not a static piece. This will be the best of the best in the industry contributing. Our best vendors have been handpicked by us. We're going to have panels of NEDs in real specialist areas. So, this isn't the finish line. This is very much we're at the start line, and this is now the race we're going to start running. So I think the way that we've built it, we keep talking about Netflix. If you signed up for Netflix when it first came out, someone said it looked like Blockbuster in the 80s. But it just got better, and it just got better, and it just got better because they listened to what content their customers wanted. They made the product so easy to use and so slick. And yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do.
I love product development. I love the process of looking at 5 or 6 of the competitors out there. And when I say competitors, I mean your advisory networks and your training platforms, and going, okay, give me the 5 pros of this, give me the 5 cons, look for their feedback, look for the problems, and then ask yourself, like, why is that a problem? Can I solve that problem? What's it going to cost me to solve that problem? And how does it all work together?
What I really love about RecWired and what we've done, and originally the Lockdown Leadership Network, is, what we've stayed in our lane. Okay, we've been very clear on what we are, and there's some really good networks out there. There's some really good training platforms out there, and you can't be everything to everyone. But specifically, who's our ICP? Who are the groups that RecWired Plus will be essential for?
Yeah, look, it's ticking a box. So if you're an independent recruiter, you get access to Charlotte and yourself, and to a lesser extent me. And Dan. So you'll learn the basics. You'll learn what it looks like. If you are looking to get to a big business, you'll make sure that you have all the latest things in your business, and that you're modern and you're cost saving. If you're a medium-sized business, sub 50, again, you get access to fractional NEDs. So, a bit here and there. So you don't have to have somebody on your books the whole time, that you get to have roundtables with this. But mostly it's a pain in the arse training recruiters and finding the right information at the right time. So how much time will you save knowing that you've got like a world-class trainer there and there'll be weekly sessions on that? So putting it all together for recruitment founders and having an all-in-one solution that we're happy with has taken us way longer than I thought it would. The first problem we tried to solve was how can we better work with the suppliers out there, so that the Bullhorns and Six Cats and all the main suppliers out there. How can we better work with them to integrate them into our founder network, and that was such a big task. I think we didn't realize how hard a task that would be, and we're close to getting that done. And adding Dom into the team sheet meant that we have somebody from an e-commerce background now that can go, great guys, you're all recruitment experts, brilliant, and you know your market, you know the landscape, you know the problems, all the rest. You have a roundabout idea on how to get the product in front of them, but this is my lane, and I'll knit it all together, and we'll do it all on one platform. So bringing all of that full circle and having somebody who's brighter than us to be able to execute it's great. And both those guys came to me wanting to do business. That's like, hey, I like what you're doing. I can see a gap that I can fill. And I was like, okay, tell me about it. Yeah, you're right. It's a gap. And I can't do it. Andy can't do that. Charlotte can't do that. Yep, brilliant. Like,
I think the thing I'm most excited about, we're going to have the best free product on the market, and we're going to have the best paid product on the market.
that is exciting. So, do you want to hear how I've ended up with the dojo?
Yeah. So, who did you have to beat up? Did you win it like in a competition?
No, no. I'm only a blue belt, which kind of means I know the basics, right?
Doesn't stop you teaching people now.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Well, 5-year-olds I'm teaching. We actually, the last time Dan came here, he had to come to Spain with me. We did a video on it. Like I'll put a link to it on this. And we were part of a club in Spain, and in Gibraltar they have this thing, like everything's old military barracks here. So there's loads of there's no space for anything. Rents are crazy, but the government has hoovered up all these ex-military spots, and then they give them into sports associations. So they have them in these sports associations, and they're allocated to like basically families here, right? And you can't get in, like it's very complicated. Anyway, somehow they managed to get the Spanish guy over to one of these spots. As soon as he got on, he doubled the membership price for everybody. And he said, oh, no, Gibraltar, you're rich. In the UK, it's this price. It should be this price. And the guys who used to, like, the guys started getting a wee bit angry. And this bubbled and bubbled and bubbled. And coincidentally, Charlotte had just started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So as you know what she's like, she's in the main guy's ear, stirring it up. And then he's stirring up all the other guys. And I said, look, I don't know anything about your local politics associations, but I can make these numbers work. So and it's the skills that we learn from this, right? Okay, you're the main coach, right? You're the product owner, right? You have 25% of this business. You're the administrator, you're going to have 25 of this. You're the local guy, great. Myself and Charlotte will have 25 each. We'll take the risk on the premises. We'll sublease it to this business. And I knew that the product market fit was there. I knew that he was the right guy. And all his guys then, we had to persuade them to leave the other guy to come. So it's like, and they were disgruntled. And they said to me, well, what would you do? And I said, well, you've been doing this 8 years and you're ready to be a coach. So I'll get federated with the UK. I'll put you through a coaching program and we'll build you up like that. And again, as you know, Andy, that is giving people a job and working your way out of something. And it's all skills that you learn from being a recruitment founder. And like, you get your senior content building manager, you step away, you build up the next guy, you do it with that. Okay, now you've got two building managers. Okay, 180, now you step further away. And that's the process that we've gone through. And now we're in the process of negotiating for the government allocation for it. So who runs jiu-jitsu here? I bumped into the one of the ladies who did it, and I was like, "Oh, hello there, how are you?" She's go, "Oh, you did the safeguarding course." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I believe you met my lovely wife last night." And she was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And I was like, "She's only getting started. Good luck to you." So the general thing here is how to the it's a really unique place. So it's a tiny little British exile that.
So for those who don't know, you're in Gibraltar.
Yeah, it's 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 British, but it's much its own thing, and it's definitely not Spanish. But they are a wee bit like Latin in their way. But they eat at British times. Their kids now don't really speak Spanish, so it's anything that comes from Spain in to take anything from their land, from their things. They're very tribal. So that's the short version, the PC version of it all. But we've had 80 odd members. I found myself coaching kids classes 3 times a week.
Are you on subscription though? Please tell me you're on subscription.
We're on subscription. There's drop.
So that's a lesson you've learned, right?
Yeah. Well, there's drop-in prices. There's drop-in prices, but they're there to encourage you to jump onto subscription.
So same advice to any recruitment business.
Yeah.
Don't wake up first of the month and you've got nothing. You start on the So what's your recurring revenue? Be it contract, be it talent as a service retainers, be it it's all about recurring revenue.
So this week there's a famous guy on Instagram called Miko, and he's the thing is chokes and more, right? So he's got 360,000 followers on Instagram. So knowing a bit of business, I was able to build a brand pretty quick because of our wonderful marketing team. Georgiana, this is what I want, and she came back, bang, nailed it, right? And then Charlotte's just doing her thing. So I go down to a seminar, speak to a guy, and so what's going to cost me to get you up to Gibraltar? And he tells me the price, and it's like, okay, so that's expensive. So then I just go back. We have all the subscribers now at this stage, and I'm said, I've got a seminar. I've got a guy coming, 100 quid a ticket, whatever it is. Who's in? Boom, sold out. So it's paid for him. Then the guys go, hey, this is amazing. Thank you so much for doing that. I have a plane. Can I take him up on my plane? And then we're going to take him spear diving at night. Then we're going to do this here, and then we'll throw him off this here. And it's allowed all these guys who are 30s to late 40s have a nice little safe place that's their fun thing, and they're giving back. So that's what
I know how much you enjoy it, and you've gone from being on the outside of it, being just there, to now being on the inside. Yeah. Which is sort of your personality. You like to be on the inside. You like to be sort of running things, and
I like to be running things. I like to have a product owner to then, and then I like to kind of get on to the next thing. And I like my days to be as interesting as possible. So like if now with RecWired Plus, just to bring us back, like this is my escape from that. So I'll do some mainstream media with this guy, Miko, who's going to come. So that's a whole different, like almost like a Joe Rogan style entry that I'm going to have because of that, which really great. And I'm interested in, but I get to now be able to look at a recruitment founder and say, what do you need? Here's what I have to sell. Like, you want people? Okay, great. You want advice on software, on contract, do you want an advisor? Do you want to sell your business? Do you want trainer? Do you want this? I have it all here. And it's going to be more affordable than the next place. And I'll be able to tell you if I can help you or if I can't. And because we have a full solution, I can be perfectly honest and not just sell you one thing. I can go, you're actually here. If you don't trust me, speak to this person, speak to these three people, and then come back to me, and then we can work out a plan. And there we are. So
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting times. So
I now need to go up to the school because my youngest child has impulse control issues. And
does that mean he's hitting people?
no, he gets something into his head, right? And like he ran off the other day. Oh, where is he? Where is he? I got him, right? But the police were called. It was a disaster, right? And he comes back. He comes back and he's all, you ruined the sunset for me. I'm like, yeah, what are you talking about? Like, and he was like, I just wanted to find a good spot to watch the sunset. I was like, what happens if you had like slipped or fallen into the water? He goes, I can swim. I'm like, you're 5. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and he goes, you've ruined it. And I was like, oh, so try to get the teacher to speak to him. He's like, I'm not in danger. I'm never in danger. Like he's bulletproof.
Yeah, I
So
wonder where he gets that from.
well, there's a wee bit of me. There's definitely a big slice of autistic cake he got from his mother, and we're just going to have to go up and roll with it. So no, but he's doing great, and they're great boys, and they love their life here. So that's a wee update from my side.
Good the update from Gibraltar. So on that note, if people want to find out about RecWired Plus, how can they see it?
And I need a launch date, right? So my team has been up 4:30 a.m. the whole way through to nighttime trying to get it ready. I'm expecting to hear a go date today or tomorrow or Monday, which likely is going to be 5 to 10 days time, and they will not be able to avoid hearing about it. If they're in any of the Facebook groups for recruiters, if they're in any of our WhatsApp groups, if they're on LinkedIn, if they listen to Recruitment Podcast, we're going to be putting this out there. This has been the sum of a life's work for a lot of us, and we're going to make sure we make enough noise.
Pretty much, you're going to have to unplug, go to the desert if you want to avoid this.
Big time, or I'll strangle you.
Fair. Good to catch up. And let's do this again soon and work out how it's all been.
All right. Talk to you later, guys.